Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and I am playing Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories today. Um, no wait, it's episodes from Liberty City, I always mix those two up. Alright, so I tried playing and installing a mod to Vice City, but although I love that game, something didn't take. One of my all-time favorite games ever, by the way. It's awesome at that, capturing the 80s, isn't it? I mean, the soundtrack is the best. Unfortunately, I cannot play the soundtrack for you of that or any other game because, as I said in my YouTube copyright claim video, it's a good way to get a strike. And I already got a bogus claim since January 1st, but I beat that claim, by the way, and because, well, obviously it was bogus, because I don't upload other people's content, so, damn, I forgot that racing in this game is so much like Road Rash. If you remember Road Rash, it was this awesome game. I had it for PC a while ago. It has stupid bad graphics, but it was fun as hell. Yeah, alright, so let's get into it. So I am playing, as I said, The Lost and Damned, and just having a good old-fashioned fun time getting shit-faced and listening to John Boy and Billy prattle on forever. Honestly, Billy's more like a woman than a biker. When I first met him, he just wouldn't shut up for like 5 straight minutes. You know. It is funny. Alright, so what I wanted to talk to you about today is pretty much the Second Assault DLC for Battlefield 4 and a bunch of other things. Well, first of all, it's been noted somewhere on Reddit that apparently there has been a chat with a DICE developer, and apparently it surfaced that Second Assault is scheduled to be released for PC and PlayStation somewhere in the end of February. Well, we all know what somewhere in the end of February means, and right now it's over a month away, and they are already playing this particular DLC on Xbox One, so we were promised it a couple of weeks after they get it, and we're still sitting here with our thumbs up our asses. I mean, I heard a while ago, Level Cap pretty much said, the maps and the weapons are already done, and obviously they're working on Xbox already, so releasing them on PC should be a snap, as everything's already made. Well, yesterday I was reading this post written by an Xbox One player, because obviously I don't have an Xbox, and it became pretty obvious why they didn't release it to PC yet. I mean, the guy was basically listing a lot of problems with that DLC, and it pretty much was obvious that releasing a DLC that is even more broken than the vanilla game right now is pretty much gonna drive the gamers over the edge. I mean, I think they'll start a revolt or something, and, rightly so. I mean, listen to just some of the things he writes here, and I quote him directly right now. If you are revived and then killed before your health reaches 100, your screen becomes blurred, your HUD goes away, and you cannot move or do anything. You cannot redeploy, and you must quit the game and come back in. And yes, by the way, I just celebrated winning my first race in GTA 4 by killing myself. The GOL sniper, the sniper rifle, comes with only 9 scopes to unlock for some reason. You are supposed to get the 8x rifle scope to start out with, but in the game you only have 9 scopes to pick from. The 8x scope is not one of them, and you only have the iron sights till you unlock something. You can climb out of the map on Operation Metro with the MAV and shoot in all players on all the map. The glitch is the same as it was in Battlefield 3 Metro. That was pretty much quickly removed. In all capture the flag modes, the flag returns with a set time, and the set time ticks faster if allies are near it. Except on Caspian, the flag returns instantly when the carrier dies. In Oman, that's Gulf of Oman obviously, and Operation Firestorm, there are construction cranes. With the new Levolution feature, you can destroy the counterweights and bring down some of them, and sometimes they fall down and also stay up, so basically creating two cranes at the same time. In Capture the Flag, there is no safe spawn for vehicles, much like Obliteration is now. Most assignments reset after every match. You have to do every part of an assignment in a single match to get it. And assignments never clear or show up as completed once they are completed. On Gulf of Oman, the US automated AA will start shooting on its own vehicles at some point during the map. I mean, can you imagine? Honestly, this sounds horrible and frankly too much like alpha gameplay and not nearly like the finished product. I mean, I cannot believe any of this could have even made it past the testers. I mean, unless they were blind and deaf. Well, remember how I said in one of my previous videos that China Rising DOC was supposed to have Levolution and they apparently took it out before release, pretty much surprising the shit out of everyone? Well, later that week, I read this, well, it was a bit of a rant, I guess, written by an ex-developer at Ubisoft, ex-Ubisoft developer, I guess, that worked on Assassin's Creed 3. And, well, as I read it, things started making sense about what we're all seeing from DICE. So, what this guy has been saying about his experience on Assassin's Creed 3, basically, he said, without going into too much detail, and I'm quoting here, basically because of ridiculously unrealistic expectations and constantly tacked on features by producers and the creative team, it became literally impossible to get everything done with just UB Montreal. So as soon as I read about these constantly tacked on features, it hit me. Here you have DICE trying to come up with something meaningful, the next Battlefield, the next great thing, the next shining product. And right in the middle of this, maybe even, towards the end, EA slides in because, hell, they are the publisher, so they know what's best, right? So EA slides in and starts taking things on, like they have no business in Battlefield 4, and which weren't even planned, maybe. Things like the SUAV, for example, which is obvious that it made a transition from Medal of Honor Warfighter, because, they also had the SUAV, and it pretty much was identical. And of course, EA is still pissed that they had to get rid of Medal of Honor, the series, and, the horrible reviews that it got, but they still like the SUAV, and they feel they want to tack that onto Battlefield. So now DICE does tacks it onto Battlefield, and the horrible Fakakta smoke plane that was, quote, never designed for road kills, as DICE put it, is pretty much invincible at release, and people like Robaz go on 20 plus kill streak rampages with it, you know? And uh, now this would have been pretty much obvious after about an hour of gameplay, but no. EA wants the game pushed out a couple of weeks before Call of Poopy Ghosts, right? And so, like the Assassin's Creed developers said, at this point, most things are marked won't fix before release due to time constraints, you know. And I mean, the game should have spent at least another 6 months in development. And after the release, which is arguably the most important time in a game's life, especially one as big as Battlefield 4, right, with as many moving parts, most of the DICE people go on vacation for New Year's, right? A few weeks pretty much go down the shitter instantly. Bad idea. Especially with angry mob of players that, you know, left or even sold Battlefield 4 after seeing what caca they paid for. So now, in order to get this shit done sharpishly, EA has taken the Danger Close studio in LA, which now doesn't have squat to do since they cancelled Medal of Honor, and tacked the DICE name on it. And in May 2013, DICE LA is born. Contrast that with DICE in Stockholm, which was founded in 1992. Now, which do you think has their shit together more just by looking at it? And here, I'm reading the Assassin's Creed 3's developers' words, and they couldn't be more obvious. And I quote here, "In order to get everything in the design doc completed in time for the annual release," and note the words annual release here, team size was constantly fluctuating. The game was worked on by a large majority of the Montreal team, as well as UB Quebec, UB Annecy, UB Bucharest, and UB Singapore. Between 500 and 600 people touched the game before its release. Now contrast that with teams like Naughty Dog or Sony Santa Monica, who operate with 80 to 100 people. The coordination of resources between all these teams, separated by thousands of miles and differing time zones, was a damn joke. And at the same time, studio resources were constantly stolen for work on Watch Dogs and Far Cry 3. End quote. Now, doesn't that sound like it makes sense? I mean, there's the new DICE LA studio that's 9 hours behind the Stockholm studio, and I mean, communication should have been a female dog. I mean, it just makes sense, wouldn't it? Not to mention that more people working on one thing is, never good. All these different people in different departments are pulling in different directions, and it's kind of like, you remember the movie Office Space? And Peter, he had 6 different bosses call him to lecture him on the goddamn TPS reports. So you're pretty much screwed either way. Not to mention that this is a Frostbite 3 thing, which is, capable of a lot more than Frostbite 2 was. So add that to the mix of confusion, and you may get that DICE LA tacked on things like the snowstorm or something in China Rising as the evolution, and then people in Sweden saw it and it was crap, and it didn't work, and so they completely removed it. And now we're left with half a DLC, or in the case of Second Assault, no DLC at all. And we're stuck raging at DICE and EA because, we already paid for the DLCs, right? And pretty much got nothing in return. And finally, almost 3 months after release, you have patches being rolled out almost daily. Because, there's so many things that they need to fix with Battlefield 4. And the and the problem is that their test team seems to be completely left out of the loop because most of these patches break something even further with the game. And I mean, these are the kinds of things that would have been spotted even by a casual gamer in like 5 minutes of gameplay. Like that graphics bug, the RGB color split that was supposed to only affect the commander, but instead, of course, it affected everyone on the ground all the time, non-stop. And I mean, I started getting headaches from this shit. And as I said in my commentary I made back then, my brother had photosensitive epilepsy as a kid, so I obviously have a history, you know. And fuck if I'm gonna get seizures from playing my favorite shooter. And what about this bullshit SUAV, as mentioned before? Pretty much same thing, you know. The fact that it was invincible could have been spotted in like 5 minutes of gameplay, 5 minutes into testing. And if there was any kind of communication going on, it would have been caught right away, you know. And all that this amounts to is damage to the Battlefield series from angry gamers. And I think the damage has already been done, even if they manage to fix the game in the upcoming weeks and months. You know, it will never recover, I think. I think they sunk Battlefield 4 pretty much. Even with these fake ass, half hearted attempts to make everyone shut up with, you know, statements like new projects and DLC halted in development until Battlefield 4 has been fixed. Pretty much they angered the people even more with this, I think. And I've seen comments on my channel like, why are you not getting, you know, thousands or tens of thousands of views on every video, and you're being more tactical than level cap? Well, first of all, I never get tired of hearing this, so continue. And secondly, I know not everyone likes my crappy videos, and I'm not forcing anyone to watch, obviously, but let's assume for the moment that 100% of the people who watch my videos, who click on them, love them. See, that still wouldn't be enough though, and this kind of goes to the reason why Level Cap is doing more airsoft videos than Battlefield. I think is branching out a little bit nowadays, because people just don't see the tactical element to Battlefield 4, you know, like they did to Battlefield 3. Quite a few players left Battlefield 4, quote, until it's fixed. Anyway, so they don't care about, you know, the gun stats and such. You know, why care about the gun stats if you're going to be killed behind a corner anyway, or fall or shot from an invisible tunnel, something. So, looks like I picked the wrong time to start doing Battlefield commentaries on YouTube, don't you think? I mean, in the future, I very much hope to play other games when they come out, you know. I'm very much waiting for GTA 5 on PC, because I don't have a PlayStation or Xbox, obviously. And with my crooked arthritic hands, you know, and fingers, I wouldn't be good at playing with the gamepad only anyway. Hell, I don't even know how healthy people do it with the gamepad. I'm PC Master Race for life, and I cannot see anything else that's, you know, near as good. So thanks for watching. Please rate and share this video as it helps my channel grow. And check out my other videos at the end of this one. And remember, in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes you.